P.O.C. There's the fake sun flying directly over the apartment, and they're going to federal prison. Okay? That's the malice of AVANATH communities. While the entity listens to you point out their criminal conduct, equally barbaric, not different from Afghanistan. And this is the fake sun that was still here. As you saw my shadow appearing on this building at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, living in relevant position in the same criminal system, and you're going to federal prison for group stalking with the terrorist organization, the Ontario Police Department, who's engaged in federal stalking in concert with the people. This is where you saw my shadow upright, and you saw my shadow upright on this building, and this is where the fake sun was present, where the entity you could see through the windshield of the vehicle. This is representing 9 ACS 305. That's the people of the state engaging in what is threatening your life while they are keeping you under surveillance, not only in relevant position, which is what AVANATH communities represents. You're looking at impossible light activity while the sunset is in Alvarado Gardens through my bedroom window. This is not sunlight, and that's speaking to the evidence against the people who are going to federal prison and who employ those under the age of majority to maintain the elements of monitoring. And then while the demon-possessed engage in that egregious criminal conduct, they engage in more terrorism and harassment as an entity flying directly over the apartment where the fake sun is remaining at the same property while engaged in federal stalking. A sex offender keeping a woman under surveillance inside of an apartment where the circus light activity is captured. They are going to federal prison, like I stated, using minor children to engage in it. And if they're not natural born citizens, they're also going to be deported. Okay, this is POC. It's currently 6:20 p.m. This is going to be added to the podcast. That's real-time evidence of what the entity is doing. As you saw that those demons, that the names of the demons stalking in a helicopter, they're going to be produced because Mike Lorenz is criminally responsible. He will be removed from the position that he holds while the state's pattern of conduct, a statewide and unique criminal system, is underway under his dangerous and corrupt leadership, while the Ontario Police Department and the state is engaging in federal stalking in violation of Title 18. They do so in concert via minor children. And while you expose the people of the state, the people of the state, which AVANATH communities is going to compensate me for, understand this criminal system, they're going to compensate me for that. While this is underway on their watch, it's occurring on your real property. This is what LAPD was doing on Speaker Company's property. Todd Speaker and what is AVANATH communities, same exact criminal system. You're juxtaposing the crime scene. This is speaking to what is malice by a government that is acting with the people of the state and not helping them. That family in 41 represents AVANATH, who is going to be criminally and civilly prosecuted, and that family is going to be separated. Those children are going to be removed from their custody. They're employing them in group stalking, just like I stated in the images, which you'll hear on the podcast. And as I'm capturing the podcast, immediately that is the entity flying over in helicopter in the environment where the fake sun is rising and setting. Okay, that's the POC, and that is directly relevant to what 55 is doing, as I'm documenting, to what the Ontario International Airport is doing, which I'm documenting, to what the population is doing, including that guy, a vendor of this community that's engaging in the elements of monitoring with the state, who just flew over in a helicopter, not helping the demon inside of apartment number 41, keeping a woman under surveillance, engaged in federal stalking, and then the foolish conduct of the entity that you are group stalking with flies over my head, communicating a threat to my safety, my life, and my well-being, which this demon knows all about what I'm stating, and that's why he's going to federal prison. His baby's mother's going to federal prison, and his dad is going to federal prison. Apartment number 41. Okay, who you see these minor children, they're going, and so is the demon that's stalking a helicopter, and Mike Lorenz is facing federal prison as well. The name of these, the demons that are stalking a helicopter, their names are going to be produced at federal prosecution because they're going to federal prison. Okay, the entity is full of demons. Ontario Police Department, they're corrupt. They are a demon-infected agency. They're engaged in state surveillance. They are not a legitimate law enforcement agency, as the evidence shows. And they're also demon-possessed. That's why you have this demonic environment concentrated over this apartment. That's why you have the immediacy of the arrival of a helicopter, which is not changing the subject. What I'm speaking to on the podcast is what I will repeat here. The entity engages in criminal conduct, employing minor children, engaging in what is teaching them to engage in methods of malicious terrorism, not different, not less barbaric, but more despicable. While in the U.S., the entity is engaging in teaching children to engage in terrorism instead of placing large guns in their hands, teaching them the demonic methods of targeting someone, psychologically torturing them while engaging in the elements of monitoring. Pacing around on their big trucks, on their big wheels, is light activity, audible activity creation, while your demon-possessed parent is group stalking and engaged in federal stalking. And as you expose it, as you speak to it, immediately the demons who are group stalking representing the state fly directly over your head. That's the POC. Not different from what's going on in countries such as Afghanistan, okay? Not different, not less barbaric, more despicable, more disgusting. And you have the people of state that are going to federal prison, the demons representing the Ontario Police Department who are going to federal prison, and AVANATH communities. they will be civilly and criminally prosecuted. Okay, this is impossible light activity that has nothing to do with that light source. That is again 7:38 in the morning to what is currently 6:23 in the evening, from this side of the front door to this side of the front door. This is exactly what the LAPD were engaging in. This is exactly what the San Diego Police Department is engaged in. The Fontana Police, the Montclair Police, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department group stalking using helicopters has been documented. The entity group stalking the Montclair Police Department, the Chino Police Department. I have documented the Monrovia Police Department, the Arcadia Police Department, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the Nevada State Police, the California Highway Patrol, all engaging in the same demonic pattern of conduct. And the Ontario Police Department is another terrorist organization who is going to be disbanded. Okay, they're engaged in federal stalking while with simultaneity to my documentation that is being accumulated on a cell phone in violation of federal stalking statute, Title 18, Section 22618, subsections 1 and 2. They are arriving in the specific environment pursuant to the documented pattern of conduct in a helicopter with the criminal purpose to obstruct justice via intimidation, retaliation, threatening conduct, arriving in group stalking in a helicopter as you document the people of the state and you speak to the barbaric nature of their criminal conduct, which is sexually violent, perverted, and demented. Those closeted psychopaths sit there on their porch while they're group stalking simultaneously. While I walk by and capture that, all the elements of monitoring are being satisfied and they're going to federal prison. That is, again, AVANATH communities who will be civilly and criminally prosecuted, which was the subject that I'm discussing on my podcast. And I'm going to add this video to that podcast as well. That is the prosecution of the people of the state, the entire state of California, as I just captured another video of what is the comprehensive system of federal group stalking and monitoring. It's state surveillance, and it's also surveillance that's online. On my communication device, the demons are engaged in 24-hour surveillance, and that's exactly what Alan D. WAPNER, the president over the Ontario International Airport, engaging in demonic pacing, criminal surveillance, federal stalking in violation of Title 18, using commercial airline planes to hover over this 55-plus community at all hours of the day, maintaining the same demonic elements of monitoring, with knowledge of what it is that I say as I say it, engaging in a sex offense. Okay, and that's speaking to, again, the removal of another demon whose dangerous and corrupt leadership is resulting in what is ongoing facilitation of the state system by an airport that is centering its operations around what I do as I do it inside of an apartment where the elements of monitoring are maintained. This is P.O.C. It's currently 6:26 p.m. That is speaking to what I'm discussing on the podcast. This entire family inside of 41, loss of custody of those minor children who are being abused on video as I'm capturing the P.O.C. They are also employed in criminal conduct. The entity has made these minor children sex offenders and criminal group stalkers, which is a federal offense. They've made them criminals and sex offenders by group stalking via those minor children. And they are also doing so while they're engaged in federal stalking with their daddy. They've been engaged in group stalking with their mama and with their granddaddy, and any of those in Department 41, like everyone else. And like even any demon a part of the Ontario Police Department, any of them that are not natural born citizens, those terrorists are going to be deported out of this country. Again, it is currently 6:26 p.m. and this is POC.